Things we need to point out, guys, before we get started. The Season of Defiance Retribution mission just went live, which is the epilogue, the final narrative drop for the season. Go and play it. All you need to do is finish the 5 weeks of the narrative from Season of Defiance back when it launched in March, and then go to Crow and you'll be able to pick up this small quest. It's a very charming, entertaining, calming ending to the season. It's great. I think it's amazing. It's a small mission, and you're going to find enjoyment if you've been loving the small Season of Defiance story for the last couple of weeks. I personally enjoyed it, and footage will be shown of it in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then go and do it, and then come back to the video. The next thing is that I will be leaving the Europe tomorrow, so the compliment of the days, even though I didn't make any videos in the last couple of days, this will be your compliment of the week, I should say, as of this video launching. Talking to you always puts me in a good mood. So that will be the compliment of the week, because I won't be here, because I'll be in Europe. Who knows? Maybe there's a mic, maybe there's a PC, maybe there's a huge leak that comes out on Saturday. Who knows? And I cover it. But time will tell. I don't really know how it's going to go on my Europe trip. So I'll let you guys know how that is. If you want updates, maybe I'll show off some photos of some stuff when I'm there. Go and join my Discord if you're interested. As well as subscribe, as only 10% of you guys subscribe. And we're very close to 25K. Also, thank you for 24K. You guys are insane. I love you all. You guys are the best. Never let anyone else tell you otherwise. Alright, let's get into the Season 21, Season of the Deep preview that I told all of you that I was going to do weeks ago, and then I never delivered on it, because things get in the way of sometimes. Season of the Deep, where to begin? Now, let's start off with some basic stuff before we get into some exact info already on the season. So Season of the Deep will launch on May 23rd and will be a 3-month season going all the way to late August. Late August we'll see Season 22, but we're also going to see the final shape reveal. Bungie usually now reveals expansions in the late summer, like how last year and the year prior to that we have seen Witch Queen and we have seen Lightfall's reveal. Season of the Deep, as you can tell, is going to heavily connect to the events of Final Shape, as we have been building up to the Final Shape all along. Many of you are probably going to catch on to that, but Lightfall's story will be this entire seasonal year, basically, that what is Bungie really going into, and with the events from Lightfall, we'll see more in Season of Defiance, Season of the Deep, Season 22, Season 23, and then that will bring us to the Final Shape expansion, which is basically obvious at this point. Now, Bungie has confirmed with Season of the Deep is that we will be getting more strand aspects, one for each class, and a hand cannon that was in the marketing for Lightfall that Bungie never released. And Bungie now promised us that it will release in Season of the Deep. But this quest is going to be a quest that many of us will actually enjoy, because it's going to give us more info on what the Veil is, which was the big, MacGuffin for so long in the Lightfall story that was never explained, and till this day we don't really know the exact info on it. There can be a lot of info on it that we can speculate really on what it is, but not a lot of concrete info. And many can, make theories and make info on it being this, but we don't have a concrete answer. Season of the Deep will deliver a little bit more on what the Veil is, but not enough concrete information, so that kind of really sucks. But again, it will help us explore on Neomuna, the Veil, which is a big thing that we're going to need to know for the Final Shape story and what the Witness actually really did. So stuff to be there. Now, with Season of the Deep, we are going to get a big endgame activity. Bungie has shown us the plan of what they do every year now. One new raid, one returning raid, and 2 new dungeons. With Season 21, Season of the Deep, we're getting a brand new dungeon with the season that is likely going to either launch on the first day of the season or on the first Friday. But be aware, Season of the Deep will not deliver on a power increase, which is one of a big thing that Bungie is doing, as every season that we've been through since Season of the Dying has always offered a power increase. So not having a power increase in the season is very interesting, and that's why Bungie will be launching trials earlier, I believe, as well as Grandmasters. So something to bring there, so you don't need to grind too much after this season to another season. You kind of get a little bit of a break here, which is pretty nice. I think a lot of people do enjoy that. Now, something to bring up is that the Season of the Deep dungeon will be a separate purchase. Now, Bungie has shown us that they have the seasons, which you can buy separate, but you can't buy the dungeons. The dungeons aren't a part of the season. They're a whole separate purchase, even though they have info and plot points and weapons and all this lore that connect to the season. It's dumb, but that's how it is. So if you want the dungeon, you're going to have to get the dungeon pass, which is the Season 21 and Season 23 dungeon, separate from the seasons, which sucks. So life sucks. That sucks. I think I know why many don't like it, but have to agree with it because that's how they agree with it. But again, I digress. Season will be delivered with a dungeon, which is great, like how Season of the Haunted and Season of the Seraph delivered on a dungeon, being Duality and Spire of the Watcher. It will have its own seal. It will have about 5 weapons with 1 new exotic connected to it, which will be an RNG drop. The seal will deliver on challenges and triumphs, as well as rewards, increasing the drop rate chance for the exotic. Season of the Deep will deliver on 2 exotics, one being in the Season Pass, which Bungie will, of course, accordingly do every season. The Season Pass will deliver on new weapons, new armor, and new armor ornaments, as well as a seasonal exotic. As well, like I just said, the dungeon will deliver on a seasonal exotic. Dungeon exotic, my bad. I keep saying that today. Keeps getting mixed up. 1 seasonal pass exotic and then 1 dungeon exotic. So 2 exotics in total. That's great. I wish Bungie would make more, but we are just gonna get used to it always having 2, which kind of sucks, but that's how it is. Like I just said, we will getting a new armor, universal ornaments, new Eververse set like always, but we're also going to get the seasonal activities that we usually get every season. Now, Bungie is likely going to release either 1 or 2 things. 1 whole seasonal activity, which could be a 6-match made activity, or Bungie will do a similar thing with how they did with Season of the Haunted, as the Location Titan will be returning. We could see a 3-player public event or 3-player match-made activity, as well as a 1-player or 3-player mission. Bungie usually delivers on having a match-made activity or some sort of activity that is like out there with other players, and then having a separate mission node on the director, which is something different that is similar to how, any other separate mission would go. Here's an example. With Season of the Haunted, we had the Sever missions that we could do, which were a separate thing, which we can only load up to 3 players on, and again, it helped connect some of the narrative with the whole entire season. It delivered on major plot points, but it was something that you would need to do after you would do it the public event, which was Nightmare Containment, which was basically the main source of activity in that season. Think of it as a similar model to that. I think many of you would, again, catch on to those small little things, but that's something that we're going to get with Season of the Deep. Now, already by the name, you're probably telling, okay, this is going to be a Hive season, and you are right. Season of the Deep, already by its name, will be a Hive and sort of Taken season. Now, with Season of Defiance, we had the Shadow Legion, and again, I was already tired out of facing the Shattered Legion. Shattered Legion, that's what I call them, because they're shattered, get it, because Callus died, and they're shattered, whatever. No one likes my jokes. But again, we were basically shooting the Shadow Legion for so long in the Lightfall expansion, and now in Season of Defiance, I'm already bored of them at this point. I like Tormentors, but I'm bored of them. Season of the Deep will deliver on Hive being a main enemy once again. Some little other plot points, just want to point that out. As you guys know, Titan will be returning, which is the moon from the Destiny 2 Vanilla campaign. There was a voice actress for the Sloan character and for Zidor Wrath, which was one of the biggest Hive characters that we haven't actually seen yet on the big screen. We haven't even heard her voice yet, and there was a voice actress listed for Zidor Wrath and listed for Sloan. So Sloan being the old vendor character for the Titan location, maybe the seasonal character, seasonal vendor or something, which is amazing because I can't wait to see how that is. We've seen Ashermere this season, now we're seeing Sloan. It's going to be great. That will be amazing. And then we are also seeing, of course, the Wrath for the first time, which will be insane. We didn't get to see a lot of her in Witch Queen, and again, that would be amazing. I cannot wait to see how that fits in. Now, something also to point out is that Bungie has said that with Season of the Deep, it won't have a vendor paradigm, which means there won't be a upgrade like war table system that we had with this season with Season of the Deep. I understand a lot of you can get tired of it, and I do as well. So don't expect we have to upgrade type system that we've been doing for every season. So this time, Season of the Deep won't deliver on that because Bungie has looked at a lot of feedback when it comes to seasons, which is also great to know. I love when Bungie looks at some of the feedback and puts it out there. Again, we had a lot of backlash with the seasonal model back in Seraph, and they said after Season 21, Season 22, and into the future, before Year 7, we'll see a lot of more of that feedback on changes to the seasonal model, which is always great to know. So, stuff to bring there. I personally cannot wait for Season of the Deep, and there has been a lot of info out there on what the season will deliver on, but we can also use, of course, our mind to say, okay, this is the, general speculation, but also confirmed info for the season, as seasons always follow that normal model that we've always been through, which is also great to know. Now, some little things just to point out before I go in, end this video and not see you guys for a week. Savathun, the Hive god of cunning, could be returning within the season. Again, this can be considered speculation if you really want to say it, but it looks very likely that a lot of these things that happen with Witch Queen will be heavily connected with Season of the Deep. I would recommend that all of you go and play Witch Queen or go look back at a lot of the lore and connections there. We might see a lot of that come back into fruition within the season, which is also great to know. If Xylo is involved, you could see Amaro and Savathun being involved. You could see Eris, you could see Ikora, you could see a lot of characters from those old seasons. You could, of course, see Sloane, Zavala, those characters as well return. And I believe Bungie has already confirmed that, unfortunately, we know that Lance Reddick has passed away, but Zavala will have voice lines within this season, as he had some voice lines within Season of Defiance, but not a lot in Lightfall. So Zavala could be a big character within Season of the Deep. I believe he will be, and that's also great to know. Again, hopefully we'll see the return of Mara and Crow, which we likely could be, as they were heavily connected with the events of Witch Queen, and we'll see more of that. We'll see more of every character get involved within each season going up to the final shape, and that is something that many of you can agree on. I feel like now that after the ending of Season of Defiance, we're really building up bigger relationships with our allies, and we'll probably see more of a bigger relationship with those allies going into these next big events as we learn more about the Veil and understand what really happened in the Lightfall story. Now, of course, this is not everything in the season that I have said, but there will be much more videos, hopefully, on covering the changes, more on the gameplay, aspect. I didn't go over everything, but hopefully this was a good amount for next season. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.